Hey everyone, this is Darren at In the Rain Gardening, and this tree is dead. So I have this combo apple tree. It's a sad, sad day. It died. If you remember in my first tour video, I'm gonna put a link in the description for my first video. It's a tour of my entire garden. In that video, I talked about a tree that in the root ball, there were a ton of ants. And the ants were actually hurting the root ball in this instance. And so I potted it up and I put it in new soil with new nutrients, and it didn't make it. The limbs are brittle. It's dying. You'll see some green in some parts, but all the grafts are dead, and that's why I got the combo tree anyway. But no huge loss. I got it at Home Depot. It was half off. Got it late in the season, so it was about half off. So I paid like 25 bucks for an apple tree that could potentially put off 6 kinds of apples. So not too bad, but it's dead now. So it's kind of a good news, bad news sort of day. I kind of anticipated this tree dying. So what I did was on Rain Tree Nursery, and I actually picked up another apple tree. Now this apple tree looks beautiful. It has, the roots look great. I've been having it soak in some water for the last couple hours since I got it in, and it's actually called a cider apple. It has Kingston black apple, Harrison apple, Granny Winkle, never heard of it, and Dabinet. And so I'm not going to waste any of the soil that this apple tree was in. I'm actually going to pot this apple into the same pot that apple came out of. Might add some more worm castings, but I decided to bring you guys along, so let's get started. So before this thing becomes firewood, I just wanted to show you guys the root ball. I mean, it's all dried up. The roots are snapping just as much as the branches on the tree were. There's no new roots, no new growth. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. So I'm gonna cut this thing up and we're gonna have some apple wood, smoked bacon or something. I don't know, but anyway, that's trash. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but all the soil that I had in this pot, I dumped it right into this wheelbarrow. And the soil that I use is Fox Farm Ocean Forest. The reason I like this potting soil is because it's pretty aerated. It mycorrhiza bacteria. It has bat guano, fish stuff, all the stuff that you get in the newts that you usually put into your pot. This soil has it in it. Now I always add some extra stuff to it anyway, but I like the strong foundation that this soil has. And it's actually done well, and that's super important when gardening in a container. And I learned best from Organics Best, Urban Gardener. I learned best from him that when you water your pots, most of the nutrients seep out of the bottom. So it's important that you have a very nice soil and strong nutrients into your pot, so that your plant will always have nutrients available. Because they don't have it available, we have to give it to them since it's in a container, as opposed to in the ground. Those nutrients are usually available in the ground. So, one last look. And I'm also going to add some perlite. It already has perlite in it, but I'm going to add some more because I like it to be, I like the drainage to be top notch. So I'm going to add some more perlite to this already in the wheelbarrow. Next thing I'm going to add is some worm castings. You can never have too many worm castings. This stuff is pure gold. pretty much worm poop. And then the last thing I'm going to add to the soil is some Fox Farm Happy Frog Fruit and Flower Fertilizer. It's a 584. I want to stabilize the roots and get some good buds on this tree, so I'm going with the 584. After I pot the tree up, I'm going to add some compost to the top of the pot. I don't want to mix compost into the pot because the compost gets really hot, and the black pot already is hot when the sun's beating down on it. So I'm adding some compost to the top of the soil, so without water, the compost nutrients seep down into the roots. And then the very last thing I'll add is mulch. So here we go. And the first thing I notice is it has really long roots. So I also have my pruner, so I'm just going to prune off, not too much, but I'm going to prune off some of the longer roots that won't really fit into the pot. I'm also going to prune off any damaged roots, any like roots that were damaged from shipping, from packaging. It's much better. Perfect. Set this in my pot, and I really want, this is the graft here. See that graft? This little knuckle here. I'm not gonna plant I'm not gonna plant above that knuckle because I don't want that, whatever that is down there, I don't want that growing. I want this up here growing. So I'm gonna sit this down on the ground here. Got my gloves on. I'm just gonna fill up this pot and shake this thing around until it's settled and make sure it's straight. I also pre-moisten the soil so that when I water it in, I don't have to worry about the soil being super dry. All right, now before I add the last few layers of soil, I'm going to dump in some of this fertilizer. Some of this Happy Frog fertilizer. I'm going to dump some of this in. So that, you know, it's not just sitting on the top layer, it's actually as close to the roots as possible. This is an organic fertilizer, so it's really hard to burn the roots with it, so I'm going to add about a cup of this. Now I'm just going to add some more soil. Just going to shake this thing, make sure it's straight. Get any air pockets in the roots. Watering it in will also help with that. So good old compost. And sometimes when I run out of compost and I don't have enough, I get the Leaf Grow compost. You can get it from like Home Depot. I found that that's also pretty good. Not as good as the homemade stuff though. All right, I'm pretty much done. Last but not least, to retain moisture in the pot so that I don't have to water it every single day, got some mulch. All right, that's it. I'm gonna water this tree in. I'm gonna sit it wherever, I don't even know where I'm gonna put it yet, but I'm gonna water it in and let it sit for a couple minutes and keep watering. Thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate every last one of you. Please like and subscribe for more content. Remember that Jesus came not to condemn the world, but to save the world. All right, to save sinners like you and me. And I appreciate each and every one of you. God loves you. All right, take care.